Semantic fluency is the practice of retrieving words within a specific category. Usually they're nouns, a person, place, or thing, and you retrieve those things within the guardrails that are set up by defining a category. Those guardrails help focus your attention and get your mind focused in the right direction. Now, for the purposes of this wellness practice, semantic fluency is used not to assess your cognitive function. It's used as a bridge between exercises. Think of it as like a mental palate cleanser. When approached in this way, there will be less anxiety, which coincidentally will allow your brain to free associate, which can lead to a flood of words and concepts that participants might not have been able to access otherwise. Page 21 of the journal has plenty of space to write. Now you can practice semantic fluency as an individual or as a group. If you use the journal, be sure to put a date so that you can compare one practice to the next. But remind participants always they're comparing themselves to themselves, not to other people. So that will alleviate some stress right there. They can note things like, what was the weather like? How many people were present? Anything that might have an impact on their ability to participate and recall information. There are some variables like, were you working as an individual? Were you working in pairs? Or was this a whole group effort? Now, something like that, which is introduced after you've introduced the initial exercise, can definitely have an effect on the number of words that you were able to come up with in a specific category. So step one is you provide a category, or what my preference is for the group to come up with a category. Step two then is you'll decide on a certain time frame. Now I usually set this at between 30 and 60 seconds. As you do the exercise, you may find that the people in the group want more time or less, but usually it's more time within a category. And you can certainly make that adjustment. I have found that some people get stressed out if they have a hard time thinking of a word and the timer is still clicking away. Then they're stressed because they think they should be, they begin to be their inner tyrant. They should be doing this, they should be able to think of things, and they aren't able to, and that makes people stressed. So you can kind of play with that time frame, but at least to start out with, I would say 30 to 60 seconds per category, and then you kind of get a response back from the group about how they felt about that. Step three is when the timer stops, and then you ask the participants to count the number of words that they wrote down, and they can make any other notes that they think of, anything else they want to add to their experience. Sometimes it's things like how easy or how difficult was a particular category. Did you find an image popped in your mind first and then the words came, or were you thinking of the words and those words then allowed an image to come into your imagination, and that image then helped formulate more words? You know, one way is not better or worse than another. It just gives you information about the way that you capture information, store information, and then can recall it. I would encourage you, if you are definitely left-brained or definitely right-brained, words versus image always, then at some point just try to flip it and try to work the other side a little bit. If you do notice people getting stressed out, remind them to use the breathing strategies to help calm themselves and see if they can't let go of that stress and anxiety. You know, I think one of the reasons why a semantic fluency practice is so stressful for me is because I'm always afraid, right? I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to come up with as many words as I can, or the right words. And I think as many times as I've said this to other people, and I say it to myself constantly, fear is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The thing that we are the most afraid of is the thing that we're going to bring about. So we have to find a way to focus our mind on something else, or free our mind to accept other information. Fear not. Do not be afraid. I don't know how many times we're told that in the Bible. Sounds like it might be good advice, right?